Ladies and gentlemen, how are we feeling on this lovely Monday morning? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Moneyline Madness podcast. In case you don't know already, I am Matt Sherrick alongside my boy Andy B. Andy, going into another week, our first weekend of college football has passed. I mean, week 0, I guess you could say. How you feeling on this lovely Monday morning?
Well, I'm obviously juiced up and excited that football's back, but I'm not going to hide away and shy away from the fact that my weekend in terms of my picks could not have been worse. Honestly, you can go through Nebraska and I will never talk about Nebraska football again after what they did the other day. They're a joke, but that Hawaii pick looked terrible. Like Hawaii used to be a team that week 1 they come in, they're out there, they're ready to go. They're going to be the worst team in college football this year. If they're getting beat 63-10 at home against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so, that looks really rough. But I mean, in terms of the Nebraska pick, I can't say anybody really saw what happened coming. I mean, an onside kick when you're up 11 points was just
that was insane. That was
mind-boggling. I don't know.
That's a great. They have a good team there, not a great team. A good team, good offensive coordinator. He might be the worst coach in Power 5 football. I mean, he has been terrible since the moment he got there. But I mean, he knows his job's on the line, and he's doing shit like that. That's a joke.
That was unreal.
In another country, in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah, you have the nerve to just start wilding out in Dublin. We got Double R and I Main in the chat. Good morning, fellas. How we doing? I mean, I don't know if you could see, but I'm rocking the squad today. With a little Jamar Chase vibes. So we're feeling good this morning. But yeah, Dublin, Ireland, they got to see the worst of it, unfortunately for them.
Scott Frost in Dublin, Ireland was the stupidest person in the arena, and Dublin doesn't have football teams. They don't watch football very often. They could have coached better than him. So it was a very odd day.
Yeah, actually, and I mean, I just want to point this out. This is no fair weather Bengals jersey. I actually had gotten this when they drafted Jamar Chase, just because I was like, that's gonna be a tough jersey. And when they came out with these ones, I had to snag it. I had to, and you can see it's a little big on me from the old Matt, but we still up. But yeah, Scott Frost stinks. That was disgusting. It was inexcusable, truthfully, especially when you have, I mean, just so much talent in comparison to Northwestern. It was really bad. Honestly, if they released him after the game, I don't think anybody would have been surprised.
They made it so, I didn't realize on College Game Day they were going over how easy they made it to fire him now compared to what it originally was. His buyout is half as much as it was.
That might do it right there.
He took a pay cut to stay instead of them firing him. He took $4 million less anyway. He's unless they go on a run, and they have a good team, and they should have won the game. Don't get me wrong, but if he keeps coaching games like that team's screwed.
Yeah. All right. Well, college football, that was kind of, I guess you could say, somewhat of a wash. There was really nothing too
this weekend,
season.
Yeah, week 0.
We knew it wasn't going to be, anything too crazy, but we got a little bit of a taste. And I mean, I guess you could quote Paul Pierce going into this coming week. I don't know if you remember that quote, but we got a taste of it. And now you just you want no, we won't go there. But what's going on, fellas? I can't see who that is in the Facebook comment. Give me 1 second. But
big college football weekend though we will be having.
Big college football week. And today we're talking fantasy right now. Oh, Nigel, what's going on, bro? How you doing? Hope you're having a good Monday. We're talking some fantasy football right now because I know me and Andy had a draft yesterday and I couldn't have been happier with the results that became of it. Truthfully,
Matt had a
draft. Fantastic draft. Projected to finish first. That felt really good. I ended up coming out. I had the 3rd overall pick. I ended up with Austin Eckler, and then I swung back around in the 2nd round, and I was able to tag up DeAndre Swift, which I felt incredible about.
You have very good running backs.
Incredible. Double R, how we doing, man? How we doing? My running backs, and honestly, that's kind of my strategy in fantasy. I go first 2 rounds. I'm going running back all the way. Unless I see a wide receiver that is really blowing my socks off and I'm at the end of the line in the 1st round, I'm going running back. Truthfully, I don't know. Is that your strategy as
Nope.
well?
My strategy is the complete opposite, and it worked last year. I won this league last year. Well, close to this league. We have a few different people, obviously now, but I won this league last year doing exactly what I've done for years. I would take Devontae Adams first, Aaron Rodgers second. I like this stack. I like the way that it works. I love having a night where if Rodgers and Adams have a good night, Rodgers could throw to Adams 2 touchdowns. I got 40 from those 2 right there. And I'm good with that, right? If you could get 20 from a guy like that, easy. Some nights I'd have 28 from both of them. Like, that's great. That's why I wanted Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, because I was torn between Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert and these 2, because those are probably the 2 best stacks you could get in the league right now, in my opinion, at least, because Rodgers is gone. So I did not take Aaron Rodgers to that answer.
I was going to say,
could
Rodgers
not
in the
go
second
Aaron
round,
Rodgers.
crazy.
Yeah,
I do like Double R said he had the sixth pick and is projected to finish first. The 6th overall was a great spot to be, in my opinion. I really like it because it puts you right at the middle of the pack. You're not sitting for too long between some rounds.
No.
Personally, I don't go quarterback. I went 10th round quarterback in this league.
Yeah, who'd you get?
I got Russell Wilson round 10.
Yeah.
So I was sitting pretty personally. I really didn't I wasn't too worried about a quarterback because honestly, on my big board, I really like Trey Lance as well. And I think Trey Lance is going to be able to do most of the things and give you most point production as some of these top 5 quarterbacks in the league, being that his volume is going to be so exponential. So I was honestly okay with waiting until a later round and taking a quarterback, 10, 11, 12. I also have Cortland Sutton on my team. And so I saw Russell Wilson there round 10. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll go with that stack. Yeah. I also was able to get Travis Kelce in this draft. So that's my wide receiver 1 on top of Cortland, Deontay Johnson, and, my 2 running backs. So I was feeling really good. But quarterback wise, I don't know. I've never been big. Like, there have been times I've played a league and I've seen guys go Patty Mahomes first round. I've seen guys go Lamar Jackson first round. I could never get behind it. I can't. I personally can't, because the margin between the top 5 and top 10 quarterbacks is not big enough. Like, there's so much more of a chance of getting a top running back and keeping him at the top of the pack than there is getting a top quarterback and, him staying over there. So I don't know. I always feel that the running back is more safe because you know what you're getting out of a top 5 running back.
So the reason I take a quarterback first, I'm always the first person, is because when you have 16, like I had 16 picks in between, you always, you do. That's how it works. When you have the close ones, but then you have 16 in between. Once one quarterback is taken, it's like a domino effect. Everybody's going to start taking because they're afraid they're not going to get a good one. So I took the best option in my mind, knowing that if you guys all start taking quarterbacks, eventually 16 picks, like 5 or 6 of them are going to be quarterbacks now. So now I'm going to have a chance to take a running back in the next round because there's going to still be good ones left. And there was. Javonte Williams lasted until like the 4th round. So
now he's your RB1?
2. I got Zeke as my RB1, but I'm probably going to swap him anyway. Like, I don't like Zeke, but I got Elijah Mitchell. So
the thing is, like, I don't know, going into fantasy, I need my workhorse, I think. Like, that's the strategy that I go into it every season.
That's what I probably would guess Javonte is. He's not going to split as many carries as he used to. Like, he's not going to split like last year.
I think he's going to catch more passes out of the backfield, but I still think that they use both of them, honestly. I still think both of them get utilized a lot.
My dream was Aaron Jones lasted to me, but he was a few picks before me.
We got a little who day action in the chat. Who day? But, yeah, I don't know, I'm so running back heavy because in my mind, like, a top 5 running back is worth more than 2 top 10 wide receivers, in my opinion. I don't know.
This is probably a tired argument, but go look at the top 5 running backs last year, picked last year before the season. McCaffrey, the same names, McCaffrey, Cook,
Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook.
Henry. They all missed significant time with injuries, except Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor didn't because he was a rookie. So who knows if he misses significant time? That's the fear in me, is that, okay, I got this guy, and now he's out 4 or 5 weeks, and now I've got 4 or 5 weeks where my team has no shot because my first round pick's not there. With a quarterback, you usually don't have to worry about that as much, and you could get, like, from Josh Allen. I know I could pencil him in for 20 to 25 a week, right?
Okay. And what round did you pick him in?
Oh, he was the second round. I got him.
He was
I
your
got
second round
Diggs
pick.
first. I got Diggs
And
first.
now looking in this league, if we look and we see where Matt Stafford got taken, I'm gonna assume Matt Stafford got taken in the 12th round.
I think
because I saw he was still on the board after even I had taken Russ. So, and I think Matt Stafford could give you 25 points a game.
Well, he's a backup.
That's where in my head,
father took Justin Herbert first.
Well, I mean, in my head, I'm like, I can always wait.
Yeah, no, you're right.
If I could get 25 points out of a guy that I'm taking in the 12th round, I'm going to do that and then save my higher picks for running backs or something like that. So, I don't know. I just can't. I can never get behind a quarterback so early.
My fear with certain quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, for example, I had him the year he was like the first 8 weeks of the year. He was clearly the MVP. And then out of nowhere, he started throwing interceptions like crazy.
Oh, we know Russ's second half.
Yeah.
He's
he's not a good second half quarterback. So I had him. That's some certain guys just don't last long enough into the season where you need them when you need them to be hot. I don't need a hot start. I need a full on great season.
So now you think from the sound of this, you think Russell Wilson's going to have a lackluster second half?
He always does. I mean, am I wrong to say he always does?
I mean, this is different. This is a different year.
But it's also his decision making throughout the season goes to shit. Also, like I've seen him make.
Look at his surrounding cast in Seattle. He didn't even have Chris Carson for that. He second half of last season.
He had great receivers there, though.
He had DK Metcalf, and then what?
Tyler Lockett, who I really like. I didn't draft.
I mean, I'm not calling Tyler Lockett as good of a weapon as anybody on this Denver.
No,
I'm taking Jerry Jeudy over Tyler Lockett right now.
Yeah, Jeudy and Sutton are probably better than him, but other than that, I don't think it's.
So now he has Jeudy, Sutton, Tim Patrick. They also have both Javonte and Melvin in the backfield. I think that he has enough weapons to where he's going to be satisfied throughout the whole season.
Hopefully. I hope so, but I know that throughout the last few seasons, he's kind of fallen off mid-season. I hope for you he doesn't because I want you to be good. I want to play you in the championship. We're in the same division, though, so I do still want to beat you twice, I think. But, yeah.
I see. We got comments saying, I'm with you. I always go running back to start. Snagged D Swift and Joe Mixon in the first and second yesterday. I'm at the 7th slot and I'm pumped. I mean, hey, if that's a PPR league, you're going to be swimming in it. Yeah, really. I mean, those are two pass catching backs that are going to be getting a lot of work. We saw Joe Mixon. I mean, I could probably attest to this. I liked Joe Mixon ever since he came out of college, but they were just stacking the backfield of Giovanni Bernard and just what else did they have back there? They had he was so slow. Oh man, Cedric something.
I think I know who you're talking. ETN, is it ETN's brother?
Yeah, the Bengals had. Oh man, they were just clogging the backfield for so long, and it was disgusting because you knew Joe Mixon was the best back out of everybody there.
Oh yeah,
so it wasn't even close, and he was just not getting the reps that he should have. So I'm really high on Joe Mixon, not only last season, obviously. Jeremy Hill, yes, Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard, bro. They draft Joe Mixon and then just literally and Cedric Benson even before that. They draft those guys. They draft Joe Mixon and they just have this clogged up backfield between Jeremy Hill, Cedric Benson, and then they had Giovanni Bernard as well. Mm-hmm. It was like, yo, Joe Mixon's the best player here. He just needs his burn. You finally give it to him last season, and what happens? Success, even with the bad offensive line. Now coming into the season, they have a better line, and I'm expecting Joe Mixon to go crazy.
I had Joe Mixon as running my RB1 like 2 years ago, and everybody's like, what? Why would you do that? And that was the year he took a leap, and he was like, I get a 40-point game, and I was like, this wasn't a bad pick. He averaged like 18 a week. I was like, hey, this is a good run. This is a solid RB1.
Nah, dude, he's an RB1 this year, especially if you have a tandem of him and DeAndre Swift. That gets really scary really quick when guys catch passes like that.
Nobody's stacking the box against that team. There's too many good receivers on that team.
You cannot.
I was in like the 7th or 8th round, and Tyler Boyd was still on the board, and I was so torn to taking Tyler Boyd, but like there's too many good receivers on that team to take him. So I don't remember who I went with, but I think it was Michael Thomas I went with instead. But because he lasted a long time, which I don't know. How do you feel about Michael Thomas this year? It was a bit of a risk for me. I had to do it though. I can't hear you.
I haven't liked Michael
There
Thomas
you
since
go.
probably 2 seasons ago, to be honest. I just
Yeah.
it's
He was one of the best though when he was healthy.
he was when he's
So-
fully healthy, but even man, he had a full off season to come in swinging. And we're seeing already like
He does
hammy
have-
issues.
he's
I mean,
questionable. Yeah.
I saw his comment on social media. I'm fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think Iman has a point right here. Boyd and Higgins are also great value late round picks. Definitely late, but I just don't want to rely on either of them as like a wide receiver too.
If
When
Boyd
I know
is
that there's so many options for Joe over there. So
yeah, Boyd is a good one if like somebody, and I hate to say that, like one of the top 2 guys gets hurt. Like, because then they'll have to go to Boyd a lot because he's a veteran. He knows the system, so that could definitely be something.
Double R commenting, I have Mixon and Williams as my RB starters, Diggs and Cup as my wide receivers, and Hurts as my quarterback.
It's pretty damn
Sounds
good
like a 4-man league.
Yeah, really.
but yeah, I mean Diggs and Cup, yeah, you can't ask for much better than that. And Jalen Hurts as a fantasy quarterback, he's going to eat it up.
Yeah,
he's going to get a lot of rushing touchdowns as well.
That's one thing we couldn't wait. If you wanted Jalen Hurts, you had to take him early in this league because my brother's friend is a Eagles fan, so he has I think like 6 Eagles on his team.
Doesn't he have a hamstring issue now? Yeah, apparently something's going on with his hammy. Like it's tweaked, and we saw how towards the back end, not the back end, because I don't want to say he's fully. It was a 12-man, dude.
12-man league, damn. Who
free
you
money
playing against?
Free money. That's awesome, dude. That's a great team. But, I mean, Michael Thomas, we saw in the back end of Julio Jones' career how a hamstring,
like
even
right
just
now,
a tweak, can impact the rest of your timeline. And I just see like Michael Thomas like is following that same pattern. They're both big body receivers who rely more on their size than necessarily athleticism to, a T. But oof, it's
what
rough.
swayed me? You know what swayed me on him? Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, knowing that he's probably going to throw a lot, and I thought Alvin Kamara being picked early was odd to me because I'm not 1,000% sure he's going to be healthy enough, or if he's going to be suspended. Nobody knows that yet, which could still happen. But, Jameis Winston kind of got me. Was the reason I took him because Jameis Winston will heave the ball down the field, and Michael Thomas loves to do that. And so
we'll see.
the amount of yards really got me on Jameis Winston to.
I just need Michael Thomas to be able to run down the field.
Hopefully.
Like I feel like
hopefully.
And Imain says it's dangerous getting too attached to your favorite team in fantasy.
I know.
Avoid drafting Giants. Always.
Well, you obviously.
I mean, no, but I was about to say, even when I was young and we had Victor Cruz and I was playing fantasy football, I was still not necessarily going all over Victor Cruz because of that. I just don't like it. It's tough because you want to root for him, but then there's times where like, he doesn't come up and you don't want to hate on the guy because he didn't necessarily have an awful game, but he didn't come through for your fantasy team, and all that type of thing. I think I had Odell once when he was on the Giants in one of his seasons, and that was when he hurt his ankle. So
I was fortunate. I'm fortunate enough to have had the best quarterback receiver duo in the league for the past 4 to 5 years. That's no longer a thing, but that's how I would always have it. If I had those two, I didn't care what they did. They were gonna ball anyway. Like Devontae Adams wasn't having a bad game the last 2 years.
Double R. Hey, that's gonna be a good Thanksgiving. Double R. You're coming in.
Really, you're gonna have
literally
a lot
just
of shit
you're gonna be
talk.
you're gonna be just talking your shit come Thanksgiving time. Comeback player of the year in Jameis says I think he has a case.
I do
definitely
too.
think he has a case, but I think he needs his guys healthy in order to, because he can't make it happen with nobody over there. I mean, they're relying on very young receivers. I think they have Chris Olave, right, as their wide receiver too.
They have Olave, and then they got Jarvis Landry, who I think
they do have Jarvis Landry, but he's so old, and I just can't see him, having a resurgent season like that. But Jameis definitely has a case for comeback player of the year. One thing I want to talk about that I don't even think we mentioned this off air, which is surprising, is Perkman, Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about it because Aaron Rodgers comes on the Pat McAfee show, and I know
no. Don't go Joe Rogan.
Oh no, Joe Rogan.
I watched the episode. I'll be honest with you. 3 hours of my life.
Yeah, wow. I was gonna say I thought it was on Pat at first because you never miss Pat episodes.
I don't.
You're a regular on the Pat McAfee show, but
love Pat.
Aaron Rodgers on the Joe Rogan podcast, just wild. Like it's so funny to me because
he's embraced it. I'll be honest. He's embraced being the that guy.
Kinda. Like sure.
I'm
but
okay with it.
you're still in the league, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not like his career is over where it's like guys coming forward and like Brett Favre, where he was like, "Oh, I think I suffered many concussions." Like, no shit, we know
Yeah.
that, Brett. Like, no kidding. Everybody, your brain is a fucking jet puff
It's like,
marshmallow.
you know what it
that's no
reminds me of?
surprise.
The 86 Mets just did a documentary years ago, and everybody was like, oh, they were doing lines of coke on the plane. Like now they're coming forward, like 40 years later, even a couple
Yeah.
years after. But like, Aaron, we're still in the league, bro.
Where like Lawrence Taylor, he's just like, yeah, by the way, like, I was doing cocaine before the games, and Aaron Rodgers just like, yep, me too. And he's there just like, wait a minute, you're still playing.
We have a game next week, Aaron. Why are you saying? No, 2 weeks from now. But
yeah, and Aaron's just popping perks. But I mean, hey, if
I
guarantee that there is a lot more guys that we don't know about, whether it's
100%
some type of painkiller, just to get him through the game. And do I think that these organizations are also kind of like, pushing them on the table a little bit? 100%.
Look at what happened with the Angels. I mean, they were giving their players that shit because they could. I think he probably gets fined. My guess would be he gets fined because I don't know if you're supposed to say that out loud.
Yeah.
While you're still playing, while they can still fine you. So I don't know.
With confidence too. That shit was hilarious.
Oh my God. He said it like it was nonchalant, like it was nothing. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
This is not like a nonchalant thing. Yeah.
That was
popping
crazy.
them like they're TikTok, like they're
But all right, let's talk. I want to mention, because there definitely are a bunch of guys that I really liked in our draft last night that fell pretty low. And I want to talk because I feel like a highlight of mine is year 2 players. I really like a lot of guys in year 2, even year 1, maybe.
I got one of them.
Sometimes that are really due for a breakout year. So go ahead. Let me hear who you got.
I got 2 of them that I'm extremely high on. So this is a double flex league, which a lot of people in our league didn't love that, but I should have probably mentioned that. Double flex league. I got Elijah Mitchell, second-year player. I expect to on a team that's not going to have much passing.
Yeah.
So I expect him to.
And he's a pass catching back as well. Ended the season on an absolute roll. He was a top 5 running back fantasy wise.
Oh yeah.
Towards the end of last season, so I'm right there with you.
Tell that one. And then, probably in my opinion, the most exciting number 2 in the East. East. This isn't the NBA. In the NFC. Devontae Smith. AJ Brown's gonna get a lot of attention. So I'm thinking Devontae Smith's gonna have a really big year, his second year out. We saw some of it last year, so I could definitely see that happening. I don't know if I trust Jalen Hurts a ton, but I think he could, maybe if he takes a leap, Devontae will take a huge leap. So I definitely like those 2.
Yeah,
who'd you get?
I like them as well. These aren't. I got this one, but I'm not just gonna hold myself to guys that I did end up with. I really like Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is gonna end going at the end of this season. I think Breece Hall is gonna end as a top 10 fantasy running back, and I don't know if that's crazy to say, but I think he's that type of workhorse, and I think being that the projections already, like, Rob Saleh loves him. And the only reason that they're saying it's a running back battle between him and Michael Carter is because Michael Carter can catch a few more passes out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Besides that,
that's definitely the only. Yeah, I couldn't.
Breece Hall is head and shoulders like above Michael Carter in terms of running back skill wise. So I really like Breece Hall, and like I said, I think he finishes a top 10 tight end in terms of volume and his skill level. It's all just right there. The Jets have a great offensive line too, so I think he's really going to feast on that. I mean, asks, when are you guys usually taking? Tight
this
ends?
this actually goes into what I was about to say. So
yeah,
covering this and what we were just mentioning. So I usually wait until like 4th or 5th round because there's a decent amount of tight ends that are good receivers still in the league. So I had either TJ Hawkinson or I was waiting on Waller. So as long as they fall to the 4th or 5th round, then you should be okay. That's usually when I wait. There's usually a back end guy that's pretty solid. Like I got Waller, so that's good. When do you take tight ends?
Well, I'm thinking about the draft last night, and I had taken Travis Kelce with my 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
And so the only reason that I had really looked, I was like, man, Travis Kelce's really the only option here. Wide receivers were falling off the board fast.
Yeah.
The top wide receivers at the time were T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin had just gotten taken, who I was going to take, and then Deontay Johnson. So I had sat there and I said to myself, am I, more comfortable with taking one of these wide receivers and then settling for another tight end, or do I take this tight end now and hope one of these receivers fall to me later on? So I took Travis Kelce there, being that I thought the give was more in the wide receiver. If there's margin for error, I'd rather it come in my wide receiver than the drop off from a top tight end to, a 5 to 10 type of tight end. So I took Travis Kelce thinking his points will make up somewhat for a wide receiver one having, a lower pick in my rounds. But I still did end up with Deontay, so I wasn't too mad at it.
Yeah. And to the other point of that tight end thing is the player that I think is being a little overrated the most is Kyle Pitts in his second year. I love Kyle Pitts. He's a great player. First of all, he's a weak quarterback.
Marcus Mariota. A guy that had one touchdown last season is overrated?
But he was such a highly rated player though. I think he's highly rated. I think he was the first rated tight end, I would guess. I want to say maybe he was second. I don't remember the list pre-draft, but his position rank is 6th, I guess. So I guess
I'm not going to sit here and act like Mariota can't sling the rock on occasion.
I'm gonna sit here and say it. I'll say it. Do you really think he's going to be that good? Do you really think? I mean, if he's going to throw to somebody, it's going to probably be Kyle Pitts. But I don't think Kyle Pitts.
I was just going to say my other sleeper, who I actually was able to get in this draft as well, Drake London. Yeah. I really like Drake London this year, being that he's a wide receiver one out of college. Yeah. This guy is being put in such a prime position. And now I know, like you're saying, Atlanta doesn't have a great offense. Their offensive line is not great. But a wide receiver one, he's going to get his. You know what I mean? He's going to get his regardless of if it's force-fed or if it comes naturally. I think both of those guys are going to see better seasons. I think, honestly, Cordarrelle Patterson takes a step back this year, being that they want to revolve this offense around these young guys.
I think with Pitts, there's going to be a natural drop off because he's with a different quarterback. I mean, he went from Matt Ryan to Marcus Mariota. That's a drop off. I think that his production will drop off just because of that, naturally because of that. And I think the same thing with Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman was so great, but I think he takes a leap because he's now with Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz. There's when you change quarterbacks, if you get better, your production will go up. If your quarterback gets worse, I think your production goes down. It's the same thing. I've been beating a horse with this. It's hard
to go down in Kyle Pitts' production when he barely had production in the first season. So, and when it comes to red zone targets, is Mariota not going to use a guy like Kyle Pitts as like a safety blanket? You think
he will? But how many times? This isn't a joke. How often are they going to be in the red zone?
No, I know it's not a joke because they suck. But I would hope it's more than twice, and I think they get.
I would hope so too.
I think it's more than twice, and I think they get a touchdown in 1 or 2.
You also have to be prepared for mid-season when they're 1-7 that they're going to put Desmond Ridder in, and Desmond Ridder might be terrible.
He might be, but
also might not be.
You use a massive being like Kyle Pitts as your safety. Yeah. I don't know. Double R says he has Hawkinson and Cole Kmet
preferred
as a backup.
Hawkinson. I like
Hawkinson's not bad.
Every year he's so good though.
He's solid. Yeah. I don't know. I think he's still a top 5 tight end in terms of fantasy, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of when Hawk went in our draft.
Before mine, right before Waller, so 5th round.
So he went before Darren Waller. See, those are the types of things I can't get behind in terms of the TJ Hawkinson move.
I would have gone Hawkinson over Waller, to be honest with you.
Really? Why is that, though?
I think the fear with Waller, and the reason I was a little hesitant, but it was really the only option left for me, is that offense now is receiver heavy compared to what they were. So I think his health has kind of dropped off. He's an older guy now, so his production will probably drop off just because Devontae Adams walked in the room.
Do you think Devontae Adams? I understand that he might have taken some targets away a little bit, but do you think that also opened up some of the field a little bit? Because we saw Darren Waller getting double teamed constantly last year.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Lost Henry Ruggs, and it was just him and Hunter Renfrow.
I think if he reverts back to the guy that was there when Henry Ruggs was there, then it helps for sure because he'll be the field will be open.
I think that's what we see, truthfully.
But I don't know if his health is good enough either. That's also a fear. When you match those two things together, the lack of the targets that might disappear and the health, it's very hesitant. But he's my starting tight end, so I'm not gonna talk too much shit about him.
Yeah. So. Now I was just thinking about the fact that if the Packers and Raiders, I don't know if that's ever a matchup, ever, but if you guys play each other, Aaron Rodgers he takes a couple of those Percocets and tosses them in the middle of the Raiders locker room and just watches Darren Waller and Max Crosby just go at it.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I don't think we play them this year, so I don't think we have to worry about that.
That'd be an interesting concept.
It would be.
It
would certainly be fun.
It's just because every time Darren Waller catches a touchdown or like Max Crosby has a sack, like NFL Network or whoever's announcing just feels the need like, and yup, a former drug addict getting a touchdown here. Like it's like, let the guy live, please. Like it's been literally a decade since Darren Waller's had any like off-field issues. Like let the fans rock, please.
That reminds me of the Manti Te'o docket. Every time somebody brings up Manti Te'o, it's the guy who got kept.
Yeah, literally.
Can't
it's just
escape
like
things in this life.
You know what they say? You could build a million bridges, but as soon as you know
burn
blow
one
load, you know you're a load blower and not a bridge builder. So it is what it is on that note. But I got a couple other fantasy sleepers for this season because there were a lot of guys going off the board yesterday that I thought I was like, wow, thank you for taking him because you're gonna leave somebody else to me.
Dude.
And you had said it to me off the air. George Pickens.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He is the potential to be the wide receiver too on this team. So. Yeah. I said perfectly. Darren Waller, who was on crack. That'll be a first down for Las Vegas. Like what? Like gain of 4 yards. By the way, remember when he was doing hard drugs?
Yeah.
Like it's so unnecessary. But yeah. Anyways, George Pickens, his skills are right there in front of us. He has all the tools to be a great wide receiver. It's just a matter of is his off the field stuff, all complete and done with at this point. I think so.
I think he's good.
I think that was just college, getting to him a little bit. But
yeah,
right now I was able to snag him. I think round 15, right? If I'm not mistaken, around 15 or 16, I was able to snag Pickens. And
I think he was 13, 14 because I was very prepared to take him.
Either way,
with
I'm
Matt
very
Ryan,
happy. Being that I have Deontay Johnson and then I have the safety blanket of George Pickens in case anything happens. I think Claypool is not it. I don't know. I don't think Chase Claypool is anything good.
I said this when they drafted him. I watched every single game George Pickens played in college. He is a number one receiver if there's ever been one. He is Justin Jefferson. Literally, that's the perfect match of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem was, he has some issues where he would get into fights on the field. And as a Georgia fan, I was in. I was in fight. Let's go. But
let's go.
He does have his issues, but he fell in the draft
because
of that. But he's a bona fide number one. And I was very pissed Green Bay didn't take him when the draft came around. I said the same thing. He's a number one, and he'll be a number one by the end of his first year, if not at the beginning of his second year. He's going to be a star.
I have beef with Green Bay. NFL young boy. Yep, is absolutely right, and he constantly
I have beef with Green Bay too.
Is bullying defensive backs. But yeah, I have beef with Green Bay because you knew you were losing Devontae Adams. Obviously,
they traded him. You traded him.
Yes, but even before that, it seemed somewhat premeditated. That he was leaving, and I just don't understand. You're getting rid of a wide receiver. Why not go ahead and draft Pickens and then come back and grab Odell in free agency? Then all of a sudden, going into the playoffs, you're looking at George Pickens, a wide receiver, and Odell Beckham as your wide receiver core, not touching on, the fact that you still have Allen Lazard there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think they could have just handled it so much better. It's so
this
annoying
is my team.
to me.
This is my team. I've watched everything they've done. Every year we cry about how we're always a weapon short. Now we're 3 weapons short, and they've done nothing about it. Okay, you got Sammy Watkins. If it was 2015, I'd be really hyped right now. I'm not. It doesn't really excite me. Devin Funchess, I think, was brought back or something, or maybe he wasn't. That doesn't excite me. You got Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Romeo Dubs.
Yep.
Christian.
Double R said it. Green Bay does not help themselves ever.
Never. They hope somebody else does. They're
no
always
wonder Aaron's popping perkies. I can't blame him. He's stressed.
They're always hoping the Rams fall off, or the Niners fall off, or the Bears suck, and that always happens. Or the Vikings suck. But eventually, those teams are not going to fall off. There's too many good teams now. Tampa Bay still got Tom Brady, who I don't know if you saw that press conference. I love you, Tom. I'm a little concerned.
He looked a little old.
Looked a little old, but he also looked a little tired, if you will. Yeah, which kind of goes hand in hand, but he looked a little stressed out.
Yeah, I mean his mom is sick. I understand where he's
Yeah,
coming from in terms of his absence
I
and everything like that. So people kind of shelling him for that,
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of.
the
But
non-football fan in me, even there's just a person in me, kind of wishes he stayed retired because I kind of feel like he's gonna see a lot more hate now that he did it and came back than the hate he found just being a winner. Because now he's a winner who kind of seems like he threw everything, like he's throwing his life to the side. And I don't know if that hate is warranted, but he's definitely gonna get that.
and Double R says Rashad Bateman, I drafted him late. If you were able to snag him late, he's
Yeah,
wide
really.
receiver 1. I'm so big, like I think that matters in a lot more cases than the talent of a guy, because say Rashad Bateman is on the board, and then at the same time you have trying to think of somebody who's a wide receiver 2 that's probably better than him, Mike Williams. Say that he's a wide receiver 2, probably a better player than Rashad Bateman, but being that Bateman's the wide receiver 1, he's going to get more volume.
Mm-hmm.
I know a big take, and I think Simo says this a lot, is that the Ravens don't like to throw to their receivers.
They
Listen,
hate it.
it's a
They throw to their
it's a
tight ends,
different
and that's it.
it's a different type of ball game when you have a guy like Rashad Bateman.
Mhm.
It's about time that they utilize his skills. He was a rookie last season, so you didn't really know what you were getting out of him. This is the season that they tap in and they really use Lamar's arm to his advantage, because Lamar could sling the rock. Like, people just discredit him because he also runs. Lamar can throw
Yeah.
the ball. Like,
He
let's
d-
not
he can.
forget, in his MVP season, he was slinging that thing. So I really like Rashad Bateman, and I think he has a better season than people are anticipating. I know he's already touted as somewhat of a sleeper, so I think those
Yeah.
people that are higher on him are going to be proven right, because
I agree.
it's
I
just-
think he's gonna have a decent. I think he's gonna have a solid year at least.
if you could
because-
get him late, like
Yeah.
like I'm saying, I'm agreeing to all of this, being that you're getting him on the back end of a draft
Yeah, I
rather
don't-
than
I think he's-
in the wide receiver 1 or 2 position. If you're adding him to a team where you already have maybe say I'm looking right now at the fantasy board. If you already
Justin
have a guy,
Jefferson,
if you already have a Justin Jefferson, or
a
even like
star.
if you have a Deontay and Allen Robinson duo, and then you're like,
Mhm.
you know what, I need another guy, I'm completely okay with Rashad Bateman right there. I am perfectly cool with having him, especially as a flex player. That's mostly where I like him at.
He was taken 74th overall in ours, which is a reach, but that's because my brother's a Ravens fan.
I did see him get taken slightly higher than I was expecting off the board.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I got 2 more guys here, and they're actually ranked both 53 and 54 on this big board. I really like AJ Dillon as well. Keeping it, in
I
Green
have
Bay.
him, I believe, right?
I think you do, and I was
do.
going to take him actually. So you were
Yeah.
getting a little angry at me.
About
I was getting a
fucking
little
time,
angry
yep.
with you. I do like AJ Dillon, and I think he's a better running back than Aaron Jones. I don't know if that's a hot take.
I think he'll be a higher scorer. I don't know if he's a better running back. He's gonna get goal line touchdowns.
He's getting
like
goal line
crazy.
touches,
Like,
and I
yeah.
think he's a workhorse. And I
He
think
is.
at the end of this season, going into next, I think we're going to be sitting here like,
Yeah.
damn,
Here's the
AJ
truth.
Dillon's the RB1, and
Yeah.
he's that guy in the Green Bay backfield.
We were
So-
just talking about Green Bay's lack of weapons. Aaron Jones might have to play receiver, and I mean
Well,
this
that's
seriously.
what I'm thinking.
a
He's going to be
double
sitting
running back
slot
set, yeah.
sometimes,
Like,
and yeah, they're going to be putting AJ Dillon in that backfield. I could see that like
yeah,
more
that's
often than it not.
not that I'm just conceding. It's probably gonna have to happen. Like they have the worst receiving core in football, and that's saying something because the Giants' receiving core is pretty shit.
Yeah, jeez, yeah, it is. It's really bad. But I also I really like, because we're getting up on time here. A couple
Mhm.
more guys. Elijah Moore. I said it, year 2, guys.
I like
think
him.
That
I
he's
do.
gonna have a fantastic season in terms of fantasy production. If you're looking for another flex guy, maybe a bench piece just for depth. His average rounds, I want to say his average ADP is sitting in like 10 to 13.
Mhm.
It's kind of all over the place, being that people are a little skeptical on Zach Wilson and all that
Ooh,
type of thing.
Ooh, I mean,
Ravens
don't know
worst
about
wide
that.
receivers in the league.
no,
They're
that's
down.
not true.
They're down there, dude. I don't know.
They're
not
down there,
great.
but do you think they're worse than Green Bay's? I mean, we have no established receivers.
Yeah, it's bad.
Lazard maybe
Yeah.
last year, but like,
Yeah, I don't know. I would take Bateman over Lazard, so
Yeah,
I'll go with Green Bay being the
that's-
worst. But Elijah
Yeah,
Moore,
get
I
back
think
to what
is
you're saying.
due for a great season this year. Like I said, that offensive line really, it moves me in
Yeah.
terms of the production that's going to happen around them. We saw in the early years of Dak and Zeke in Dallas, they probably didn't have the best. Like, Zeke isn't a great running back, in my opinion. I don't think he's, a top 10 running back. Or, no, I mean, maybe barely 10. He's at the back end of 10, maybe if he's a top 10 running back right now.
Now? Oh, he ain't even top 10.
You don't think so? Well, we saw early on in his career, he was a product of that offensive line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Offensive line could change a team.
It absolutely can. And I think that Jets offensive line, especially if they could get Mekhi Becton back at some point. I mean, I know he's just a lard kind of sitting over there, but
lard.
I think that if they could get him back even in the slightest, that just bolsters their line even more. But even without him, it's still, I think, a top 5 offensive line in the league. So I think Elijah Moore produces this year.
And I think a good thing for him is I really don't think the Jets have many more receivers to throw to. I think Denzel Mims is kind of, he wants out already. Do they still have Corey Davis? Is he still on that team?
I
think he's still
I think
on
he
that team.
is. I think they signed him. I think he was a 3-year deal.
Yeah, I think that's a solid receiver, but he's not going to take away from Elijah Moore. So and it really comes down to is Zach Wilson the guy? And I personally think Zach Wilson's going to have a pretty solid season. Now, I'm not getting in on the Joe Burrow bullshit. He's not going to take the leap that Joe Burrow took. Nobody's going to do that again.
Yeah.
So, but he's going to be solid.
Yeah, Corey Davis still with the Jets. Jets camp, forgotten wide receiver Corey Davis has insane practice and leaves off on an exclamation point.
Who wrote that article?
New York Post.
Sounds like a Samini vehicle.
Hey,
there's a lot of guys that love to overrate certain guys.
I like the Jets this season. I don't know if that's crazy to say, but I'm not.
It sounds crazy, but I'm not going to. I think they're going to be shit on less. I'm not sure if they're going to be good. 6 wins maybe at the most, but they're not going to be the laughing stock of the league anymore. And honestly, with the way that baseball is in New York right now, I think that's a good thing. And football is just football's not going to matter in New York until November, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, you were just mentioning some baseball. You want to head over there because we're getting a little bit up on time. We could always come back and do a part 2 of this because I think there's a couple more guys I want to talk about.
Oh, I love talking for
we could definitely make this week a little bit of a preview of fantasy just in general. So
we could talk about football all day for this. I mean,
I'm with it. But hey, let's talk some Yanks. Let's talk some Mets because last night was annoying, if I do say so myself. These guys have been pissing me off lately, and I can't lie to you. The Yankees need to hit the ball. You got Domingo Germán giving you 8 scoreless. What the hell are we doing giving him 1 hit? 1 hit, not even 1 run. 1 hit.
Against Oakland.
Disgusting product. It says, y'all thoughts on defenses? I seen Simo's draft where he had Indy's D, and I think they're a sleeper this year. I go defense based on the week. I don't really care for a defense. I hate week by week. I'll take one defense and sit with them maybe for a little bit. But
you're that guy that waves your defense every week to see
every
who plays.
Single week.
You know what I think I'm gonna do?
It used to be who plays the Browns this week. I'm picking that out.
It's still gonna be. It's still gonna be till week 11. I was just about to say, I'm gonna keep the Colts defense if they have a good couple of weeks. Otherwise, I'm gonna pick whoever the hell plays Cleveland till week 11. Why not? That's how I always used to run it. I have a good defense. The Colts defense, I agree with you. They're gonna be solid, but I think it's gonna be.
Double R says the Phillies have been shut out 5 times in August. That's kind of crazy, being that they've had such a Mickey Mouse schedule.
Wasn't 2 of them against the Mets, and wasn't Scherzer, DeGrom was one of them. So can you really fault them?
No, that is true. And we've been cashing out on the Mets anytime that they have one of Scherzer and DeGrom on the mound.
Well, except yesterday, apparently, because Germán Marquez is God, apparently.
I was going to say, for the most part, I took their over on runs yesterday, so I was really pissed. I took over 4.5. You put up a goose egg. Are we serious? Dude. But I think whenever those guys are on the mound, obviously the money line gets super saturated to the point of where it's minus 280, minus 300.
Mm-hmm.
What I've been going with for that prop is the Mets to score first and then win the game.
Yeah, and I like that because
usually
that works.
It does. Usually they're going to score first in that scenario. And then, with a guy like that on the mound, there's no reason that he doesn't give him 7 innings. You hand the ball to Edwin, we call it a night. That's what
should happen. Yesterday, unfortunately, 1 bad inning.
Hey, it doesn't always go to script, right? It doesn't always, go according to plan, especially when you're a New York team.
Look, I said it, what was it, Friday? I said, you never root, or I said it Thursday. You never expect a sweep, right? You always think, hey, let's take 3 or 4. When you've taken the first 3 and you have Max Scherzer on the mound, you got to sweep that series. They had a chance to go 4 games yesterday, and they squandered it. So
yeah, you need it. You got any picks for the Mets today? How you feeling?
No, Mets are off today, unfortunately.
Oh, they are off
I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea they were off till last night. The Dodgers play the Marlins, and then they play us. So I had no idea we were off until last night. But
I did see Dodgers Marlins on the bet slip.
I actually have. Why am I on FanDuel? I should be on Barstool.
I got some. I got some Yankees tonight. I got Yanks coming in at -1.5 tonight. I don't think that's anything too crazy. They should be able to put up some runs tonight. I mean, I'm looking, and they're playing a team.
I had the over on runs tonight.
The over on runs. I mean, they're in LA right now. They're playing the Angels. Who's that? Jesus Suarez on the mound for the
Jose Suarez.
Jose, sorry, I don't know. Is that controversial of me to say?
No,
that?
He's not good. If he was good, then it'd be bad. But
oh, my bad. Yeah, no, he sucks. But I mean, you're playing a team that starts former Yankee not legend, Mike Ford in the middle of their lineup. 5-hole Mike Ford.
Why did I know you were gonna bring up Mike Ford?
Because he's batting 5th in their lineup.
I know that.
He's batting 5th, bro. Are we serious? Mike Trout has to walk into that locker room and see Mike Ford standing there like, hey, man, you ready to have a good game today? Let's put up some runs. Knowing that boy's going to go up there and look at 3 strikes down the pipe.
Mike Ford went to Princeton, yes? Princeton?
Yes, he did. He's a scholar.
He's a scholar guy. Good guy.
Yeah, class. But in terms of a baseball field and baseball production, not necessarily a guy that, is going to be the Robin to Batman and, assist Mike Trout in anything.
Well, I mean, they have the
forms
Robin.
of winning. They stink. They suck.
So
Yankees -1.5.
They need the rest of the Justice League, dude.
No, literally. They need the Justice League already. They need the Justice League and the Avengers. They want any shot of winning any baseball games. Yankees -1.5 tonight, -113. Taking that one to the bank, truthfully. If they don't do it, if they don't put this up on the Angels, then it's really kind of panic time. I can't lie to you. With the guy like Jose Suarez on the mound. I mean, I'm not panicking. You're up big in the AL East. Yeah, it's okay right now. And honestly, if the offense is going to be what's, a little scary right now, I would rather that than our pitching because the offense is there. The offense is coming. Whether Carpenter comes back, now that Stan's back, give him a couple games to get acclimated. I'm comfortable with the offense no matter what.
The fear would probably be if they're getting shut out by Adam Oller. What do you think Justin Verlander's going to do that lineup?
Well, I mean, we see what Verlander does because it's been 4 years of this guy torturing us.
Probably a perfect game, right?
It's nothing new. You just when it comes to facing Justin Verlander and the Astros, you have to put up 3 runs because you're not going to, that's it.
Probably going to have to put up more now because he ain't giving up anything lately. Dude, I think he got hurt yesterday, though. I think he had a hamstring. He had either a calf or a hamstring. He left to start. I think he's okay, though. I don't think it's long term, which is good.
I would really prefer if maybe he sat passenger with Brian Robinson. I don't know if that's just me, but is that not okay to say?
Dude, are you a little? I'm a little sick that Ben. We said in the group chat, Brian Robinson probably not a guy you want to draft right now.
Yeah, no. I hope he's okay, and I saw everything that's pointing to that he's all right. So I'll maybe.
But do you think he's going to play the first week of the season? Probably.
No, he'll take. He'll take a couple weeks off, but. That's a flex. He's got that, like Paul Pierce got stabbed a bunch of times. 50 Cent got shot 9 times. Brian Robinson got shot a few times.
Shoot somebody 9 times. You don't need to shoot somebody 9 times. Clearly, it didn't work. But
I don't know. I've never been in the position to be,
I've never
pumping bullets to somebody like that. I'm sorry, I can't give you insight on what would possess somebody to do that.
If anybody in the comment section wants to let me know, why would you shoot somebody more than twice? One time for effect, second time to get the job done, and do you really need to do it 9 times?
Yeah, well, I mean, doesn't 21 Savage say in the song Jimmy Cooks that, shot his ass 20 times, damn, he's lucky, because he usually shoots him 21 for 21.
Imagine the flex of surviving 20 bullets.
I don't think you're flexing anything with 20 just literal bullet holes in you, but that's aside from the point.
Yeah, let's get back to baseball.
Yeah, getting off topic here. I'm going back. I see the Red Sox tonight going up against the Twins in Minnesota. Dylan Bundy on the mound. The Red Sox are absolutely god awful. Another team that just has no talent anymore. It seems like, at least, because they're going out there fielding basically a AAA squad. I'm just taking the Twins on the money line tonight. Minus 124. You got Bundy on the mound. I mean, you should be able to put something together behind him. And the Red Sox they're, like I said, they're god awful. I think in their last 10 games, they're like 3-7. Like, just no reason for them to be this piss poor, especially when you would think that they would have smelled blood with the Yankees, hobbling to the finish. But no, they still are just the mid pack.
You follow Carabas on Twitter?
Yeah, 3-7. Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy.
I don't at all, because all those years of me, I've followed him since like 2016. All those years of him, coming at the Yankees for everything. It's just, he is funny though. He's a great representative of like baseball journalism. So I appreciate
really
him in
like
that aspect.
But like, I feel bad for how bad that team is. Like, they were kind of remind me of the Mets were years ago, where they're pitching guys I've never fucking heard of before.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is
Brian Bella?
7 ERA. Yeah.
No, Yankees, like, I see whenever him or like Ryan Brazier come in the game, I'm like, let's go. We're up. The boys are hitting tonight. It's insane how a team that is that rich is. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. And now this guy's on the road against a team like the Twins, who aren't piss poor.
And in Minnesota, over the next couple of weeks, be ready for some low-scoring games, because it's going to start getting cold down there, and up there, I guess. Yeah, up there. Get ready for it to start getting a little cold, which means we're going to be able to bet on some low-scoring games, because that's usually how that works.
That is a
little insight there from Andy B.
Yeah. Andy, you got some any more picks for today?
Yeah, I got one more. I'm sick of picking the Cubs games in any sense, but I'm just going to go there over today, because both pitchers should give up a lot of runs. Javier Assad had a good first start against the Cardinals, but he still looked like he could be hit a little bit. And Jose Barrios has been pretty shit. So, I mean, I expect runs to be
embarrassing,
scored.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Like, Barrios was going into the season, like, obviously with Ryu out. He was going to their season the number
contract,
one. Right?
Like, money.
He got paid. And, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you get paid. So, it is what it is. What were you riding with in that game? Just over 9 runs?
Over 9 runs. Like,
nice.
I would think we could get 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't too mad at it. I am not too mad at it. I got one more pick for today, and that's a little bit of a 2-leg ladder. Not a 2-leg parlay, just a little bit of a ladder, being that I really like the St. Louis Cardinals tonight going up against the Cincinnati Reds. There is actually 0 prop on the strikeouts for the guy the Reds are throwing. They're just that.
Who is it?
Awful. I'm looking right now, because I honestly don't even know his first name. His last name is it's Chase Anderson.
Oh.
6.75 ERA.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 190 games played under his belt. And he's a veteran. Good. That's what I mean. So like this 6.75 ERA is not necessarily, just him coming out a couple starts. Like, he sucks.
No,
like he has solidified throughout his 190 career games that he is not it, and he is the mid pack. So with that being said, I'm rooting entirely against Chase Anderson tonight, unfortunately for him. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Cardinals. And one thing that I'm just a little bit skeptical on, they don't get him wins. They don't like to get Miles
He's 10-10. He should be like 15-8.
Exactly. Like,
how do you have 10 losses?
I don't really get that.
They're coming off a big series win though, so I think they
are, and they're rolling right now. A lot of people got to witness Albert Pujols play last night. That was really cool. But tonight I'm going with their first 5 innings of the run line on there, just to go up a run within the first 5 innings. I don't think that's that much to ask. When you're going up against a guy like Chase Anderson, you should be able to jump on him relatively quick. I'm expecting the Reds to have to go to the bullpen within the 3rd inning. Like, it's that.
They should. They're like the Red Sox kind of. Their pitching is just as bad as. Like, you want to take the over every single time they play.
Literally, anybody that plays them or the Red Sox, I'm instantly hopping on the other side to look at their bets. Like, it really has come down to that. So I'm rolling with Cardinals in the first 5 on the run line, and then I'm taking the whole game run line as well at -1.5. Both of those come in at -142, so a little ladder of that, and we roll with the Cardinals for tonight.
Oh yeah, I like that. I love what the Cardinals did this weekend. Needless to say, I was a huge Cardinals fan this weekend. They did a good job. You get a little mad that Albert Pujols has kind of faded a little bit now.
Yeah, you got to watch him. He popped out like
he had like 4 home runs and had like 4 home runs in 5 games or whatever, and now he's like,
And yeah. I mean,
it
hey,
sucks. He's not gonna hit it. I don't think he's gonna get 7.
You don't think he's gonna hit it? I don't. Yeah,
Not a whole
at this
month,
point,
but
a whole month. But 7
they
home
need to
runs
be
is
winning
a lot
games
when you're not
now,
playing
though.
every
Yeah,
game. Yeah, they can't
need to
afford
win.
to just sit back and play him every day. So, unfortunately for them, but. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap up my picks for today. I really like talking NFL, though, and we're definitely going to be coming back talking more football.
It's the best, man. I'm a little upset that this is not the first Sunday.
Yeah,
I find it odd that they give you a week off. It's the first Saturday, I call it. First real Saturday. So I think my Bulldog, we're going to talk, what is it, Friday? We'll probably do Wednesday, Friday this week. Friday, we'll talk about Georgia. You'll get your ears will start to bleed about what I'm going to say about them.
Full spiel.
You'll get
Double R says this is the best breakfast podcast.
What are we eating?
We appreciate what we got on the menu over there. Because I know Aaron Rodgers is eating Perkies. That's just a nice bowl of Perkies to get A-Rod started. For the breakfast. But yeah, that was hilarious. Man.
I don't know if you watched the podcast, and
I didn't. I watched the highlights, like the 2 minutes of that segment.
I watched every word for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And they didn't talk about his career at all, so I was a little upset about that. They talked about everything else in the world. And I don't know about
that's the Joe Rogan podcast.
Like,
you hop on, he's like, so you ever done DMT? Like, that's just
they brought up DMT like crazy. I don't know about you, but I don't love hearing everybody
that my quarterback is doing drugs.
Like, I don't love hearing like Aaron Rodgers. I don't love
oatmeal
hearing my quarterback.
Generational breakfast. That's how you start your day. Hell yeah.
I hate oatmeal.
Well, Andy, you're a Domino's guy.
No, what Domino's? Pizza Hut. What are we doing?
Pizza. Oh my God.
No, we got breakfast would be like pancakes and sausage, nice and.
Of course, you're
balanced.
going with the sausage. You and free agent over there, freshly cut from the Raiders.
That is.
But yeah,
quite an end of this episode.
Yeah, quite an end. You and Manti Te'o's girlfriend having breakfast together. But yeah, I think that's gonna.
Can I watch that again this weekend with my girlfriend? She was so confused. She had no idea what was going on.
Craziness, but it is hilarious, and I definitely think it is a good watch if you're looking for something. Breakfast is the first meal of the day, no matter what it is. I guess yes, that is facts.
No, you're not wrong.
You're not necessarily wrong.
So when I go to Wawa later and get like buffalo bites, that'll be my breakfast.
Yeah, if you didn't eat anything today, then essentially, that is because you
are
breaking your fast of not eating.
That
is a fact. That is a very factual statement from my main. And what a episode, just
a lot of things covered
on all facets of life, of hard drugs, of football, fantasy football, and then some baseball.
Little sausage too.
Yeah, a little
This should get everybody everybody should watch this episode, get very excited for what football season is going to be for us, because I think we're going to have a lot of fun here.
Football is going to have a lot to entail, and it's only just getting started. So with that being said, that's going to wrap us up for today, fellas. Double R, thank you guys for all your comments. We appreciate you. Nigel and Dev, thank you for coming through as well. I'm not sure if you guys are still here, but you were earlier, so we appreciate you. Everybody have a good rest of your Monday, and from the MLM boys, we will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Let's go Mets.